So I'm doing a series of videos on here that I'm calling Story Time because I have several stories to share going through shaken baby syndrome and things like that after my daughter Christa was shaken. And so just a little backstory, my daughter Christa was shaken at 3 months old, and a lot of things happened after that because she survived. She passed away at 3 years old. So she survived for about 3 years, and I am just going to share some stories, things that I learned, things that happened throughout that time. So my daughter was shaken by my ex-husband, and sorry, I am 40 weeks pregnant right now, so it's kind of hard to breathe and like have the capacity to talk. But she was shaken by my ex-husband and her biological father, and he never did receive jail time. I couldn't even get a restraining order against him, things like that. So that led to me feeling very unsafe and having to be around him and things like that, and him following me home, different things like that. No protection whatsoever, it seemed like, from the court system or from law enforcement, things like that. So after she was shaken, we were separated, and then we ended up actually getting a divorce after she was shaken. But throughout that process, he moved out of the house that we had together, and I was trying to live there because I had nowhere else to go. And he kept following me there because, of course, he knows the place, he knows the details about the house, all that. So he would follow me there anytime he could, I guess, anytime he saw me driving by him. And I felt very unsafe about that. So I thought, what am I going to do other than go get a gun carry permit? And so, thank the Lord, I was able to do that, because otherwise it was carrying around some pepper spray or a taser, hoping that this man who I knew had guns, who I knew had a shotgun, who I knew had all these weapons and was just straight up crazy. I knew all those things, and so I thought the only way I'm going to protect myself is by also carrying a gun safely. So here's the story, and now I look back and I'm like, really, really? So I go to a city. So he and I grew up in the same hometown, and so I go to a city that is probably like 2 hours away, an hour and a half away from the city that we grew up in. So I'm not expecting to see anybody I know at this class, because I was trying to hide that from him. I didn't post it publicly that I was going to go get a gun carry permit, and I was trying to do it, to where he wouldn't find out about it necessarily. And so, lo and behold, I get to this class, and there are people in the class, and he was several years older than me. I think like 6 years older than me. There were people in this class, women, which I think were more like girls. They were taking this class too, from his high school graduating class. So they knew him. So they were like friends with him, I guess. And I'm trying to keep it secret, and I'm just trying to lay low, and like hopefully they don't notice me, they don't know who I am, whatever, because they were 6 years older than me. I didn't know them before. I just recognized them because of him. And so I take this class, which is like a 2-day class, and then I'm getting text messages from him saying, oh, I see, just harassing me about taking the class. And I'm like, really? These girls knew the situation. They knew, it's obvious why I'm there. I'm there because I am afraid. I'm there because I feel like I need, they knew that all that stuff was going on. And then, had like, I guess, the audacity to try to get into this drama. I don't know what the intentions were in like telling him, hey, guess what, Sierra's here. But very immature. But so then I'm having to deal with him. I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. He knows that I have a gun carry permit now. Oh well. But I'm just telling this story because sometimes it feels like when you're going through things, it's just one negative thing after another. Like you cannot win. You know, I was just trying to protect myself and my kids and lay low and not make a big deal about it and not let the abuser know that I was trying to protect us. And, you know, there's people out there who will do whatever they can to, you know, they just do not care. They do not care about how damaging that could have been. So you've got me. They have no idea the real situation, what happens behind closed doors. They probably had no idea he was following me home. They had no idea what I was going through on a daily basis with my daughter, which was extremely hard to go through. They had no idea that I was there because I was scared. I was scared that he was going to hurt us and possibly kill us. And that's why I was there. And they didn't even take that into consideration, I'm sure. But they instead wanted to, I don't know, cause drama. They wanted to have his back. I don't know. But it made me think about, you know, how you talk about others and how you treat others and how you don't know what someone's going through. So keep your mouth shut. You know, that's what it made me think about. And the advice I have to give other people is, you know, if I could go back and just tell those people, you have no freaking idea what I'm going through. And the fact that you just cannot be quiet and can't keep the drama to yourself. You just have to start drama. You know, you could be putting my life in jeopardy just by doing that. And they had no idea, because if he knew that I was concealed carrying, well, then he's going to be on alert about that. And he could bring a gun thinking, well, she has a gun, I'm going to get her first. You know, you never know what your actions could cause. So anyways, there's that little story. I don't regret having a gun carry permit and getting a gun at that time and all those things. I don't regret that at all. I'm glad that I have that right to do that, because no one else was going to protect me except me. And so the fact that I had that right was so important, because those are the things that people don't see. When they see that someone went and shot a school, chose to go into a school and do that, they don't see that if someone in there had had a gun also, they could have prevented the entire thing. They don't see people like me, who no one will protect, who is 5'4" with a crazy ex-husband who has threatened her life several times, follows her around, who is, 6 foot something, way bigger, 3 times as bigger, and expect me to have no protection at all. Maybe a taser, maybe some pepper spray. Okay? That's not going to protect me from someone, especially someone who had done illegal things many times in the past and probably would have had a gun illegally anyway. So, yeah, it gets on my nerves when people are trying to take that kind of protection. I needed that protection, and thank God I've never had to use it, but I needed it because I had someone attacking me, someone following me, someone threatening me, someone telling me they were going to kill me. And so people don't see that, though. They don't see the real life people, the everyday humans who get something like a concealed carry for real reasons. And it's not because I want to go shoot up a school. I don't want a gun for that. I want a gun to protect if I was in a school or if I was somewhere and somebody was shooting people. Guess what? I'm going to get out my gun and I'm going to do what I can to protect, whoever. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to make this a political video or whatever, but I am saying that this is my story, and this is just a little story time that I'm telling you know, my story and how that played a role of importance for me and for my children whenever we were vulnerable and had no one to protect us. I feel safe now, and I could probably go without a gun now. I feel pretty safe, but you know, it was important to have, and it is important. So if you're someone who, you know, is hell-bent on taking away guns, consider the people like me who had no protection against a criminal. But there's lots of us out there who have no protection in domestic violence situations, and there's people who have guns who are after us. So just take that into consideration. But anyways, I will see you on the next video.